Hey guys, I am SeaGnome here with Absentis casting the second game of CheeseGrater versus InControl. This is the MLG DC Round 3 Losers Brackets. That's a bit of a mouthful. We've got CheeseGrater here as the blue Zerk at the 3 o'clock and his opponent InControl, the red Protoss at the 12.
This is a double elimination tournament. So far, CheeseGrater has lost one series, and so if he loses this game, then he is out. If he wins, then he has a chance for redemption, and he could turn around this 0-1 deficit and go 2-1. InControl, of course, being from Team EG, very strong player. Decent map positions, more favorable than on Lost Temple. What do you think CheeseGrater is going to do? Do you think he'll fast expand because he's been favoring that, or do you think he'll do a more aggressive build?
I would say that Cheese is definitely possible, just because, the player he's up against is so powerful that realistically thinking that you can beat them in a macro game is just really unlikely. Their APM, their just overall skill is so high that it's going to be extremely difficult to beat them in a straight-up fight once they get, 10, 11 gates, all sorts of tech up. So I would say that it's possible, but I think that CheeseGrater is just going to go more normal, though. Yeah, he's sending out a drone. He will be expanding pretty quick. So it's not the wrong idea, but I wouldn't, be surprised if Cheese happened.
Right. Yeah, like you said, the macro game is what really gets people in the long term. One minor thing that really doesn't matter, but I'd like to point out anyway. InControl did take the slightly worse gas. If he takes the other one, then there's a shorter distance, and you actually recoup gas a tiny bit faster. In any case, InControl is being annoying with his probe, being very Huck-like, and trying to huck up CheeseGrater's spawning pool, but of course doesn't do much other than pull a drone off of mining.
Yeah, certainly, and we were talking about last game. We did miss a few things right as the game ended. Ooh, actually, CheeseGrater going to go for his typical gas steal over here. So we were just really admiring InControl's multitasking ability. There was a DT at the 6 o'clock that took out CheeseGrater's satellite expansion, and also a probe that was setting up for an expansion at the bottom right island.
Yeah, and that was all while he was not only getting his gold expansion, but attacking CheeseGrater on two fronts. So really great game. If you want the replays, they are all available at MLG's website. So check those out. There are some great replays by some very good players. InControl is going to be working on that gas inside his base. I expect that he'll be going for a pretty standard gateway play. And we've got a few lings out from CheeseGrater. They're going to intercept this probe, and actually getting stuck against trees, I think. And they'll be going towards InControl's base to see what is going on.
Yep, sending one to take the watchtower, always a good idea. He's not going to be too surprised at anything InControl has, just because InControl is... well, unfortunately, the Stargate, there's no way he's going to spot it, because Zerglings just don't have that much sight. Do you think we're going to be seeing Void Rays or Phoenixes?
That's an excellent question, and yeah, I checked CheeseGrater's vision, and it's just outside the range, so InControl definitely having practiced that. I don't know of InControl, like I'm not really familiar with him and Phoenixes, so I don't know. I imagine in his hands they would be rather good.
There we go.
Oh, right. So, yeah, Phoenixes we see here in one forge. So I'm guessing he'll be starting to harass, and in that time he'll take his expansion.
Yeah, of course, Phoenixes and Void Rays both certainly viable options against Zerg. And I guess originally these will be just for sniping some Overlords, and then later on, once he gets a few of them, he'll just move out and try and snipe some Queens and maybe some drones.
Yeah, they're incredibly good for taking out Overlords. And on Metalopolis, there are several locations where you pretty much know where your opponent's going to have Overlords. And actually, CheeseGrater is sending in one of those and he will get a scout off. No, he turns around. He was just so close to having seen that Stargate.
Yeah, and oh man, it looks like InControl's actually just going to build up 2 of them for now. Maybe going to wait for that 3rd one until he moves out. Of course, Phoenix is very fragile until you get 3 or 4 of them. So, yeah, until then, they just are relatively useless except for scouts and maybe taking some overlords. But
Now,
CheeseGrater, okay, go ahead.
no, by all means, continue.
Well, I was going to say that CheeseGrater has no idea that this is coming, so he hasn't really prepared at all for it.
That's right. He is preparing for a ground force, and I wouldn't put it past InControl to know that, or to expect CheeseGrater having put up a lot of spines, so he's going for something with air. Those 3 Phoenix taking out 1 Overlord, and now going to take and pick up that Queen to put the herd on.
Yeah, and looks like he did have a force moving out. Ooh, okay, there we go, finishing off the Queen there. He did have a force moving out on the ground. He just took the watchtower now. So I thought he might be pushing forward with that, but I guess he's just fine using these Phoenixes to harass CheeseGrater for now.
Yeah, he knows he's in a really solid position. Forced CheeseGrater to get an Evo Chamber. Also has a Hydralisk Den. Gonna snipe that 2nd Queen. Yeah, he definitely has enough energy for it. Although 7 Hydras are coming out, so as soon as they come out, he'll be able to shut down the Phoenix, but for the time being, they have served their purpose, and that Nexus is coming up right now.
We do have a 4th Phoenix joining these 3, but yeah, they're all going to be forced to retreat. Just too many Hydras on the ground. It's certainly possible that now these Phoenixes are pretty much useless. They're going to pick off this last Overlord, but I don't really see them being able to do too much harassment now that there's even spores up. Yeah, 2 spores up for CheeseGrater.
Yep, they're going to be checking for 3rd right now, which CheeseGrater might actually be trying to go for. But if InControl spots that, he's gonna pick that off. At the same time, yeah, he is switching away.
He did pick down the drone.
He took that out, and he's switching towards a robotics bay. So gonna be getting Colossus to deal with those Hydras that he forced CheeseGrater to get. So InControl definitely setting the pace and tempo of this game.
Yeah, even sniping another drone over there with his Phoenixes. He did lose 1, but that's okay. I don't think he's... Yeah, like you said, he's going to be focusing more on the Colossi. He does have 2 robo facilities, which is going to be kind of difficult to support. He does have the single gateway as well. He does have the 2 bases up, running pretty well, so he should be able to get both of those running pretty often. But Colossi are pretty expensive.
Yeah, those Phoenix are skidding around for any other kinds of expansions. CheeseGrater moving his Hydras a tiny bit. Also has an Overseer now, presumably having done so in response to facing DTs in that last game. Looks like he's going to expand at the gold, and he's also going to be pushing out now with those Hydras.
Yeah, InControl really doesn't have much to deal with this. So he has a few gateway units. He's got 2 Colossi on the way, actually. Thermal Lance is only about halfway done, and looks like, oh, no, CheeseGrater not pushing in quite yet.
No, he saw those 7 cannons, or those 6 cannons, rather, and thought the better of it. CheeseGrater does have the increased range, but still get outranged by those cannons. Still, those Phoenix are out and about. They have not yet spotted the gold expansion, so if CheeseGrater can have a delay for a little longer, he will get that economic advantage pretty soon.
Yeah, looks like now InControl knows about it. Those Hydras are going to move in. Ooh, take out all the Phoenixes. Ugh. So a little bit of a miss, I guess, micro from InControl, but he wasn't really using them too much anyway. We've got a Roachhorn and a Spire going down for CheeseGrater.
Yeah, checking CheeseGrater's vision, he does in fact see the Colossus out. He's got a changeling